Bonjour, Liebchens. Today we are going to be testing out a bunch of different things, and my big thing tonight, I'm not going out, I'm staying inside, and I'm going to watch Death Note, and I am so excited, and I'm terrified, because I'm such a huge fan of it. Like, I don't want them to mess it up. Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Shyamalan did that, it has such a following, and when he screwed it up, I mean, it was not pretty. Like, it was really bad. So, yeah, and the same thing would definitely be true of this. I'm going to be doing some makeup that I am not afraid to put on because I don't have to go anywhere. So we are going to be trying two different mascaras, Makeup Forever Excessive Lash, and then we have the Lancome, which it's just high definition mascara. So let's actually look at these brushes. I haven't looked at these yet. So the Makeup Forever is just your typical, it's just typical rounded, like normal shape mascara brush, I guess. And then for the Lancome, it's other way. It is slightly more tapered, but it's roughly the same. I'll be interested to see how these guys work, because I'm not typically a fan of the smaller brushes. So we are going to be trying a lip cream from the brand Absolute, and I don't know if it's Absolute New York or if it's just from New York, but here it is. I got it over at Marshall's, I think. It was one of those, discount things, and so I have no idea about the brand. I've never used this before, never used the brand. It's still wrapped. Let's see. Ooh, oh, okay. So I don't know if you can tell, but the doe foot definitely looks pink, and I think that's just the color of the doe foot, because as I go back in, it becomes more and more purple. I have no idea, but I'm going to be using my Urban Decay 24/7 lip liner. The color that I use is Rush. It's one of my go-tos. I really only have a couple, but I figured these two together could make like a really nice mauve, possibly. It's a theory, so we're gonna give it a shot. This is a sample Gimme Brow from Benefit. I'm gonna give that a shot, see how it is. Just bought a new blush. So if you remember from my dollar store video, I had an issue with blending out the blush, and I wasn't sure if it was the brush or if it was the blush itself. I know that this is a higher end one, so this should blend out really, really nicely. But to check, I have got my Wet n Wild brush, which is what I used last time, and I went and I splurged and I got the Sephora Pro blush brush. It's brush number 49, and I'm not gonna lie, this feels really, really nice. It feels so super feathery, and the Wet n Wild is soft also, but it doesn't have as many bristles. It is the Sephora one is a little bit more packed. It feels a little bit more, the bristles are a little more tapered at the end. This seems a little more just kind of feathered out. Not to say that this is a bad brush. I would really like to know if this is a dupe for this brush. I have absolutely no idea. This was like $30 or $32, and this was like $1, because I got this in the dollar store. But the main one I'm going to be trying is, we're doing beauty blenders, guys. I broke down the last time I was at Sephora. I keep passing the beauty blender section in the impulse aisle. They have it on the corner, and I just see all of these beauty blenders, and everyone swears by them. And I don't get it, because I've never gotten them to work for me. So what I have, and I'll link it below, I showed it in my first video. I can't remember the name of the brand, but I got it from Amazon. It works. It doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. It leaves everything a little bit patchy and things like that. So I just don't like it. And I thought, okay, maybe it is the product. Maybe the beauty blender is better. So I got the original beauty blender. This is the original. And so we're going to be testing them out on each side of the face, and we're going to be using my original Estee Lauder Double Wear so that we can keep everything nice and consistent. So enough about that. I think that that's everything we're trying today, as far as stuff that we haven't tried before. And let's go ahead and get started. I've already primed my face. So now we're going to go in with my foundation. Beauty blenders and I do not tend to get along. I have looked at other videos on, what you can do and how you can make them work for you. I know that you are supposed to use them when it comes to foundation, or at least damp. There is a video from Nikia Joy that I will link in the description. She had a recommendation that I actually really like, and it has to do with how you prepare your beauty blender. Instead of just, running it under water and letting it fluff up, after that happens, she suggests that you put an oil-free moisturizer in it, like work it into the sponge, and then you spray makeup setting spray onto the beauty blender itself, and that is to prepare it for makeup application. And the idea is it won't suck up as much of the foundation. So I have done that with both of these. And by the way, do you like the little containers? They hold eggs. The size is definitely different. They're both damp. This one is a little bit more damp than this one, and I did try to squeeze everything out and just tried to squeeze a little bit more, but this does seem to hold on to moisture a little bit more, so maybe that's the trick. I'm not sure. The actual consistency of this is interesting because this feels really smooth, and so when I bought it and I felt it, I was like, oh, okay, like this feels smooth, this is probably going to work really well, and then it didn't. And this one, it doesn't necessarily feel smooth, it more feels soft. So that's an interesting thing. This feels like it's got more texture, a little bit more texture to it, and maybe that's the trick. Maybe that makes the difference. I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to start on the left side of my face with the one that I bought, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be completely blown away by the beauty blender. I'm not holding out any hope, but we'll see what happens. I think the way that I'm going to put it on, I think I'm going to just actually apply it with my fingers, and then I'll go in and spread it around with the knockoff beauty blender. I feel like if I were just to take this and dip it straight in, I feel like that's not going to be doing it justice. I feel like that's not going to be giving it the best shot of really working on my skin. So, okay. All right. This is really wet. I mean, I prepared this the same way. Let me see if I can squeeze out some more water, because, dude, this is really, really, really wet, and I don't like that. It's just not going to look good. Okay, so I know that you bounce it. I'm not going to lie, it does feel nice to have like something kind of cool on the skin, but at the same time, I'm looking at my face and it's just, I don't know, it's not giving me the coverage that I want. And it feels just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's doing what I want it to do. Although it is doing better than it used to do, so maybe I'm getting better at the application. Maybe it was just me, and I was just doing a really bad job. And I might have to recant what I said before, because this didn't take very long. It did help spread the product really nicely. It did not give as full coverage as the brush does, but I knew that. Like that, I definitely expected. Okay, that's not too bad, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised. This is the knockoff. So we'll see how much better the Beauty Blender is then, because honestly, this is pretty nice. It went on pretty well. So obviously I was doing something really wrong when I was doing it before, whether it was the application or the preparation, because I definitely made it wet the last time that I tried it. Um, but maybe it was the moisturizer and the setting spray. I don't know. So that actually went on really nicely, and that actually did help cover up my pores and stuff. Dang it. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the Beauty Blender, and we're gonna see if there's a difference. Guys, this is weird. So I'm putting this on, and this was actually harder to blend out than the other one. Like this one, I've had to go over like the same spot several times. I didn't have to do that on the other side. Wow, okay. Maybe I should have made the Beauty Blender more wet? I mean, I always heard it was a dampened Beauty Blender. And I fully, I washed it, and then I just squeezed out the excess, put on moisturizer, put in moisturizer and then sprayed. I don't know how much more I could have done for it. That is so weird. I honestly didn't expect to like either of these, so this is so interesting. So the coverage on both of these is right about the same. I would say that this one on this side blended out a little easier. It's a little bit firmer than the Beauty Blender, and it also holds a lot more moisture, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it definitely blended out better than this, although they both look really nice. It's definitely a sheerer coverage, but I think that that's nothing new. But I'm actually really surprised that I like it. I feel like I'm not wearing anything. I feel like this tones it down from a high coverage or from a full coverage foundation to a medium coverage, which is great when I just want to go to work, because there have been times when I use my typical toothbrush brush and it looks like such full coverage for more of a glam look, and I really don't need that when I go to work. So the fact that I can do this now and have a much more natural finish is really cool. So, wow, that is really neat. Okay. You learn something new every day. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my NARS concealer. In my last video, I tried out the sample of it, and I really liked it. I've heard that it is a little bit controversial and people either love it or they hate it. It's the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer Pot, I guess is what it's called. But here's the thing. What I ended up doing, because I do have the creases and everything, and they don't recommend that you use it if you have creases under your eyes. But when I use lighter concealers, it tends to crease really bad. So what I ended up doing with this, when I tried it out, because it was a cream and I was really nervous about it, was I actually just went around and around and around and around and around and let it really warm up and become really creamy under my fingertips before I applied it, and that actually made a huge difference. That made such a difference, because the coverage was much, I think, not necessarily more sheer, but it dried much more natural. At first, I wasn't sure how I felt about the concealer, but as the night wore on, I realized that I was not worrying about my under eye, which I usually do. And, the bags under my eyes, I don't really feel like concealer is going to help that, because it's a texture thing. But the purple under my eyes is definitely avoidable. So if I can kind of try and get rid of that part, that would help so much. And I really feel like this does a good job of that. So to each his own, If you find something that works for you, that's fantastic. If you find that there's a product that everyone else hates that you love, it's more for you. I'm going to use my little setting brush. Where did you go? My little toothpaste setting brush. Where'd you go? Where did you go? You're literally right here. I know you're right here. All right, a little shadow under there to make my lips look a little more... Now, I think... All right. Now it's time. I haven't put this on my face before and I'm so excited. Okay, we have both of my brushes. Now, my foundation ended up looking the same, so it doesn't really matter what face I use. I mean, ideally my face, but so we're going to start out with a Wet n Wild. And I am this is pretty pigmented, so I'm just going to, like that, tap off the excess. And I just want to go on the apples of the cheek and maybe a little bit up because this does have highlighter in it. I'm so excited. Okay. I'm like barely touching the brush on there. I don't even know if you can tell. Like, I see shine. I definitely see some shine. I don't really see a lot of pink though. I mean, a little, but not a lot. Let's try that. Okay, so that I just dipped like straight into, like, there's a small pink patch. So I just dipped into that a little bit, blew off some excess, and then just tapped it on, brushed off the excess of that, and now I'm just blending it out. So this is a little bit highlighty. It's not as highlighty as I was kind of afraid it would be, because I don't like one that has like, I don't enjoy having highlight right on my cheeks, because I already have kind of like chipmunky cheeks, so I don't try to highlight that. I want to highlight more just on the brow here. That feels really soft. Okay, so there's that one. That blended pretty well. It looks fine. It's not like mind-blowingly amazing, but it looks fine. So now we're going to try this, and I'm really, please tell me I did not just waste $30. There. Okay. So it's just, okay, I'm a little nervous. All right. And I'm left-handed, so, okay. Holy cow, you guys. It's the brush. It's definitely the brush. That is insane. I did not expect that. I was hoping, but I did not expect that. Wow. Like, I don't know if you can see a difference. Like, I can because I did it. I don't know if you can see a difference, but literally this just blended so gorgeously. As I was putting it on, it was just gliding right on. And as I was going over, like, I didn't have to dip it again. I have pink here. Like, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I actually feel like I have pretty pink cheeks right now instead of slightly splotchy, kind of pinkish cheeks. I have a friend who is blowing up my phone like, you should come to karaoke tonight. I'm getting tempted. I'm not not gonna lie. And we're back. Now we are going to be doing mascara. We're gonna do the Lancome on left for Lancome. We'll see how this looks. Ooh. Actually separates out my lashes very nicely. It's not making it look particularly thick, but it is separating them. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's really nice. Now let's see how they react to some fiber. All right. Over. We're just gonna do one layer of this. If I'm like going out, then I'll usually do two, but I don't need to do 2 layers today. Right. And I will usually let that kind of dry for a little bit, and then I will do the next layer, because otherwise it just seems to kind of just pull everything off while it's still wet. Now we are doing Makeup Forever. And the top of this brush is still does not have mascara on it, and it drives me crazy. I want to like pump it, and I know that that's terrible for the mascara, so I'm not going to, but I want to. All right. I don't know if I got an old bottle, but this is actually really clumpy. Maybe not really clumpy, but I mean, I've had brand new drugstore mascaras that go on way smoother than this. I'm really not a fan of this. I'm really not. First impression, nope. There's always so much fallout from this. All the fibers. Can you see? It looks like I have freckles. Fortunately, they do wipe away pretty easy. Alright, so we're going to let the eyelashes dry. Then we're going to go in with my eyelash comb. We're going to straighten out those lashes, separate them, make them look gorgeous. And then my eyes should be finished. I think that looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's definitely different than what I normally do, but different isn't always bad. We still have the lips to do, and I think that's it. I am really excited to try this, so let me go ahead. I need to sharpen this, and then let me line my lips, and I'll be right back. All right, lips are lined, so now we're gonna go in with the purple, and I am so excited, although I'm a little nervous because like my eyes are pretty like dark, and so if this ends up being really purple, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. Okay, here we go. What the hell? I feel like this is not very flattering. I like the idea of it. Yeah, let me try to put on another coat. Let me see if that'll make a difference. All right, it's definitely very matte. It feels very creamy, obviously. That's good. Lives up to its name. It smells, it smells okay. It smells a little plasticky, I think. I don't want this much. I was just trying to fix it. Well, this is definitely not purple. I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but it's definitely not purple. Trying really hard not to like it, but I kind of like it, and I think it's just because it's so different than anything I've done before. It's just so different. It's so out there. It's so weird. It's so weird. Oh my god, like I don't know what to say. I kind of can't look away from my lips right now. But I can't tell, like, it's such a creamy color. It's not like it looks like I just, had a blue popsicle. Like, it looks like I'm wearing blue lipstick, which is cool. I kind of really like it, and I don't know why. I think it's just because it's different. It definitely is not doing anything for my teeth, though. But dang it, it's fun. Dang it. I have no idea. Maybe it looks stupid on camera. I have no idea. But, like, it's just so different. It's so different. And it's so fun. I'm actually tempted to use my flower lipstick that has the color changing properties and put that on it and see what happens. And it's pretty freaking bright. Let me see. Not really transfer proof, although it's weird because it transfers off as purple. I don't know if you can see that, but it definitely looks purple there, and it definitely looks blue here. So, I don't know. I kind of like it though. Dang it. All right, let me just set my face. So there you go. There's my look. I probably am gonna try the color changing flower lipstick just to try it and see what happens. But yeah, so we are going to do some FUs throughout the night and see what happens. But I may end up going to karaoke anyway because I'm a sucker. But yeah, so we're gonna do checkups. We're gonna see about the mascaras and see if there's a difference there. We are going to check out, well, we already did the blush, and we already determined that the nicer brush does make a difference, which is insane. The beauty blenders, both of them worked really well. The knockoff did not do so great down here, but that also could be my inexperience. So I want to play around with that a little bit more. I mean, I think, was there anything else that I missed? Because I think I got just about everything else. So yeah, thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you had a good time. My main goal for this channel is just to have somebody that you can kind of be friends with and, chat with, but not chat, if that makes sense. So I hope that you had a really good time, and I just realized I did not do the brows, and we're just gonna have to wait for another time, and I will see you next time. Bye. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my FU of the evening. It was already kind of late when I went out, so there's only one FU for today. So what we want to go over is the lips and mascara. I think honestly overall it really didn't do that bad. It definitely started to wear off, but it's not horrible. I don't think it's horrible. Yeah, honestly, because you can still see a little bit of the purple, and I don't know, I was really enjoying that. So I really liked it. Now if you look, I don't know if you can tell, but on my cheeks, on both sides, I do have some fallout of the mascara on both sides. So, and this one here, the Make It Forever, yeah, I did not like that. And if you can tell that this one, there's not near as much lift. There's definitely a difference between this eye and this eye as far as the lash length, the width, all that kind of stuff. There's a huge difference. So yeah, the Make It Forever is a big no. The lips I actually really enjoyed a lot more than I had expected to, so that was a lot of fun. But anyway, that was my FU for the evening, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!